Russ and Daughters Appetizers on East Houston Street near Orchard is a fourth-generation family-owned business which opened in 1914. The appetizing shop is known for their selection of smoked salmon, cured salmon, smoked fish, herring, caviar, cream cheeses, homemade salads, and baked breads, including bagels. They also carry a wide selection of dried fruits, nuts, and sweets, including homemade babka and rugula. We've visited Russ and Daughters Appetizing Shop many times before and even highlighted them in previous videos. We'll put the link above. Okay, so we're inside Russ and Daughters with fourth generation co-owners, Niki and Josh.
I'm Josh Russ Tupper, fourth generation co-owner of Russ and Daughters.
And I'm Niki Russ Federman, fourth generation co-owner and Josh's cousin.
So, if you can tell us, how have things been adjusting to like the new normal of first 2020 and now into 2021? What has changed specifically in the way you guys have been operating?
I mean, it's a loaded question just because it's certainly been the hardest challenge we've gone through in our 107 years, and but even in the worst times of it, we knew that no matter what changes or sacrifices we had to make, that Russ and Daughters has to be around for another 107 years. It has to stay a part of the city, and so that really fortified us. But definitely, I think we credit our, our perseverance and resilience to the fact that we were able to be nimble and make changes. So, within a matter of days last year, we had to shut down both of our restaurants. In 107 years, our family had never laid off anyone, and we had to lay off 80 people, which was terrible. Our store, which is normally part of the energy of our original store, where we are now, is the coming together of customers and staff and in this tiny tenement space. And obviously that could not happen, and we've had to just adjust so that we only let in a few people at a time. Customers wait outside, but we made it work. And
ultimately, we tried to keep things as normal as possible, which is not very normal, but the interaction is the same. The number of employees is a lot less. The number of people in the store is a lot less. But the experience of coming into our original store, we've maintained that, and that's what our goal was, to keep that as close to the way it was as possible, and that's what we're trying to do.
Joel Russ, who emigrated to the United States from Poland, began selling appetizing products from a push cart on Orchard Street in 1907 and opened the store as Russ's Cut Rate Appetizers. It was renamed Russ and Daughters in 1933 and is believed to be the very first business to have the name and Daughters in its title. It was very unusual for a business in those days, and really even today, to be handed down to daughters instead of sons. But Joel Russ had only 3 daughters who started working in the store as children. But when they became teenagers, Joel Russ realizes his daughters were actually a big asset to the store's business, as there were hundreds and hundreds of appetizing stores in the Lower East Side. But customers would come to Russ's over the others, as they liked to speak and flirt with his daughters. Oftentimes maybe do a little matchmaking, like, oh, I've got a son for one of your daughters, let me, let's get them together. So hence the word and Daughters in its title, and we really love that. It's extra special.
Yeah, our great-grandfather opened his shop in 1914, and 4 years later he had to deal with the Spanish influenza pandemic. So we don't have any, written or oral history about what that was like, but, our Russ and Daughters and our family has weathered now 2 pandemics, 2 world wars, recessions, depressions, Hurricane Sandy, 9/11. And whatever it takes, we keep going.
Yep, we'll weather the next pandemic as well.
Jewish dietary laws stipulate that meat and dairy products may not be eaten or sold together, but dairy and fish products can be sold together.
Well, I remember you telling me, Niki, the story of how, it was a big decision back during the Great Depression to, things weren't going well, and people couldn't afford, really, I guess at the time, still getting smoked salmon was more of not a
luxury.
Right, and it was a luxury item back then as well.
Yeah.
And, that your family had to make the difficult decision of selling the family home,
Yeah.
isn't that correct?
That's correct. Our great-grandfather sold the family home because he couldn't hold on to both, and he felt like hopefully the shop would carry them through. And that sort of thinking certainly informed how we thought of this. We were going to do whatever it took.
Right. There are hard decisions to be made, but most importantly, we keep the business afloat and thriving as much as possible.
Yeah.
Niki, who left her job as a lawyer to join the family business, told us that her father was never so proud of her than the day she properly sliced smoked salmon, so thin you could read through it. More proud than the day she passed the bar exam.
Yeah.
Like, what does it mean to you guys to have like a family business with such rich history that have been passed from generation to generation? Does it drive you even more to, want to keep it for your children and so on?
Yeah, our dream is to keep it around for, another 100 years and pass it on to the next generation, whoever that may be. We feel this constant oversight of our family's history, and it makes it certainly more important for us, but we are really just the torchbearers of this food tradition and this business while we're around, and the idea would be to hand the torch to the next Russes to own and operate this business.
Yeah. During the pandemic, early on we had to ask the question of, are we an essential business? And whether to stay open or not. And it wasn't just a sort of practical decision or question of definition, because we knew that we were an essential business and that we're a food maker and we were serving the public that way. But it was a deeper question of it reaffirmed to us that Russ and Daughters plays an essential role in nourishing feelings of identity and comfort and stability and memory for so many people, and that gives us so much motivation to keep going, because it feels very like an incredible, good responsibility to have that. We also owe so much to our incredible staff who, have weathered so many decades with us and, showed up every day throughout all of this. So it couldn't have happened any other way.
Thank you.
My big reason for being here, I left my career to come into this business because I heard my uncle was potentially going to sell it, and I started thinking about, of course, my family in the business, but also about small businesses in America and how important they are to communities, particularly the New York City community, because it was founded on all these small businesses. And that way of life in the city is really important to people. You come here for your smoked fish and bagels, and you go down the street for the deli and other specialty shops that focus on and are experts in the things that they do, which is really important as an experience. And seeing all of these small businesses close even prior to the pandemic is the city loses something every time a business like that closes. And describing our experience of, as Niki touched on, we as Russ and Daughters are kind of, our neon sign is like a beacon in the darkness for a lot of people, and when they look up and see that, they feel comfort. We had a moment years ago that we had to redo the neon sign and we took it down,
I remember that.
the whole community freaked out because they thought we were closing. And then when they knew we weren't closing, they still were like, well, when's the sign coming back?
That was the Jeff that
Because
let there
they
be
wanted-
neon, had to refurbish it, correct?
Right. They wanted to see that sign to give them that comfort. And so this store is a community, just like DePaulo's is a community. You go in there and you see the same people and the same employees and Lou and so this fading of these family businesses is really detrimental to society. And there's been a resurgence of these businesses. The pandemic has been quite a setback, but I'm hopeful that they will come back and people will continue to open these small businesses and keep them going because it's really important to our community and lifestyle.
Hey guys, we're back home, oh gosh, from Russ and Daughters, and we got their amazing, Gaspe Nova salmon, cream cheese, tomato, onion, on and everything bagel, extra good, let's give it a try. Oh God. No, Hudson, this is for me first bite. Okay, ready guys? Going in. Extra good. All right, Hudson, this is very decadent for you, but I guess you can have a little piece of smoked salmon. What do you think? Sit? Not the whole bagel, because that's just too decadent. You ready?
He likes it.
Oh, of course he likes it. This is the best bagel smoked salmon sandwich ever. Russ and Daughters, thank you guys. Bye.
What are you doing, like a quarter pound, I think?
Did you have several transactions? We just started.
I just
But
ran
they do it
into,
occasionally now.
What's
I
her-
know this myself.
Niki, just ran into her around the corner. Yeah, she said she was on her way to the store. Last time I saw her, I ran into Josh. He was on, oh, is he? He was on his skateboard, his dog, in the back of the Brooklyn Navy Yard or whatever.
Yeah, the office is over there.
Yes. So-
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please give this video a thumbs up and share it if you enjoyed it. And be sure to subscribe if you're new to our channel. Extra good. Thanks.
New Yorker, and I know every train inside and out.